Okay, so we have to start today with AMFI, that is Association of Mutual Funds of India, that is an institutional body that regulates the mutual funds in India. Like SEBI is an institutional body to look after the companies that whose shares are listed in the stock exchange. Like merchant banking is there, that is looked after by an institutional body which is known as SEBI, right? Banking Regulation Act, which is also a body which is made to look after to all the banks in India. Same way, IRDA is also an institutional body to look to the workings of the insurance companies in India. Similarly, Association of Mutual Funds in India, that is AMFI, is a body, institutional body that regulates the workings of mutual funds in India. It was incorporated on 22nd August 1995. So far, if you remember this point, this particular date, it is very good. But then if you don't remember, don't be get troubled. Okay, I mean don't be troubled so much कि मुझे याद नहीं पड़ रही है डेट. इट्स ओके. नहीं याद पड़ती है, इट्स ओके. ठीक है. फर्स्ट पॉइंट आप याद रखो, दैट इट इज अ रेगुलेटरी बॉडी व्हिच regulates mutual funds in India. If you remember this point, the second one, it's good. If you don't get panic. It is incorporated on 22nd August 1995. Okay. It is a non-profit organization. AMFI does not aim to earn the profits, but it is non-profit organization like an NGO. Okay. 44 asset management companies are there. Right now, we need to change this number according to current scenario. This is older picture. So 44 the dash number of companies are there like that. And you have to search and tell me how many asset management companies are there. Okay, you have to write that number, proper number. It works in tandem with SEBI. अच्छा, ये SEBI के साथ स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस के साथ दोनों के साथ मिलके दोनों की रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस को अप्लाई करते हुए साथ में काम करते हैं. टेंडर मीन्स टुगेदर, मतलब दोनों के कॉम्बिनेशन के साथ, दोनों की म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग और एग्रीमेंट के साथ काम करते हैं. For promoting investment habits and investments protection in India. That means लोगों में investment habits बढ़े, म्यूचुअल फंड्स को प्रमोट करना है और इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोटेक्शन, मतलब कोई भी इलीगल एक्टिविटीज नहीं होनी चाहिए, कोई किसी कस्टमर को, इन्वेस्टर को चीट नहीं करना चाहिए, उसके लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोटेक्शंस बनाए गए. किसने बनाए हैं? AMFI with the help of two different authorities, like regulatory authorities, SEBI and stock exchanges. I know stock exchange, I hope आप जानते होंगे stock exchange मतलब यहाँ पे BSE NSE की बात चल रही है. ठीक है ना? सिंपल है, बहुत इजी है. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड रोल क्या है AMFI के? AMFI के रोल क्या है, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या होते हैं? टू प्रमोट एंड प्रोटेक्ट द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड्स and their unit holders. Suppose I am investing in the mutual funds, so I should not be cheated. My interest should be protected. Interest means the जो मैंने अमाउंट सेव किया है आपके पास. इंटरेस्ट मतलब वो नहीं जो मैं आपके पास से अर्न करूंगी. इंटरेस्ट मतलब हमारे इंटरेस्ट में होना चाहिए, हमारे हित में होना चाहिए. हम ऐसे कहते हैं ना, हमारे हित में चीजें होनी चाहिए, हमारे बेनिफिट में चीजें होनी चाहिए. ये वो इंटरेस्ट की बात कर रहे हैं. To protect the interest of the mutual funds and their unit holders. ठीक है? To define and maintain high ethical and professional standards in the industry. High ethical and professional standards means the ethical practices should be there. Illegal activities should be discouraged. Okay? ये वो बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. To enhance public awareness of mutual funds. अच्छा, म्यूचुअल फंड्स है ना, पहले देखो इतना लोग जानते नहीं थे, इतना फेमिलियर नहीं था. अर्लियर इट वाज नॉट सो फेमिलियर. सो द एम and the objective of long-term aim and objective of AMFI is to enhance the public awareness, to increase the awareness among public, to let them know about what is mutual fund, how to invest in the mutual fund. Okay, So that type of objective is also, role is also performed by AMFI to represent industrial views and suggestions to the regulators, governments, and central government, central bank. See, some if there are suggestions, so it should be welcomed. ठीक है ना, या फिर कोई सजेशन देनी है कि आपको कैसे रेगुलेट करना चाहिए, it gives the suggestions, it represents the suggestions. Who represents the suggestions? AMFI. To whom? Maybe to the regulator who is actually regulating in the market through the mutual funds, maybe to the government, maybe to RBI, central government. So any type of suggestion if they offer, that is also a role. I mean, that is also a role performed by AMFI to represent with the suggestions part with new innovative ideas that can be brought to promote the mutual funds. Okay, role of AMFI. What is role of AMFI? Monitor the AMFI. Monitor means to look after the workings of whether they follow rules and regulations properly. That is known as monitoring. Now, when I appoint a monitor, what will he or she do? He or she has to look after to the whole class, whether they are in discipline, following rules, regulations, doing everything on time, following the lectures, not bunking the lectures. So these are the activities a monitor has to perform, overlooking, I mean, looking to everybody's working, whether working smoothly or not, whether working properly or not, efficiently or not. Therefore, monitoring the MFS means monitoring the mutual funds is the role which is performed by AMFI. Supervision kind of, very good. So next is advising the mutual funds, advising the companies of who are dealing in mutual funds that, uh, I mean, with do's and don'ts. Okay, these are the points that you can do. These are the points that you should not be doing, right? Yes, you can say guidance. Very good. And the last part is conduct exam for having a qualified distributor of mutual funds. So AMFI will conduct an exam. See, if you want to become a financial advisor and you want to deal as a distributor of mutual funds. If you want to deal as a distributor, that means you want to promote, where you want to sell, you want to ask people to invest in the mutual fund, you will have to become a qualified distributor. To become a qualified distributor of the mutual funds, you will have to pass through an exam. And that exam is conducted by EMFI. Yes. EMFI will conduct an exam. Correct? What are the objectives? Let's see little more in little detail type. To promote the interest of mutual funds and unit holders, that we have covered here also. See the first point, to promote and protect the interest of mutual funds. Same. To set the ethical, commercial and professional standards in the industry so that nothing goes wrong. Nobody is cheated. Okay. That's why we need to set some ethical, some commercial and some professional standards. Standards means principles, rules and laws. We have to set those rules and laws so that nobody is cheated. Nobody is cheating on others, right? No investor is cheated. To increase the public awareness, to develop a cadre of well-trained distributors. That is the same point here. The last point, conduct exam for having qualified distributors. Qualified means your cadre. Okay, to develop a cadre of well-trained distributors. Well-trained, you will become a well-trained only when you are qualified. You have a certificate, you have a qualification regarding that, you have passed an exam, and now you know how to be a distributor, a qualified distributor. You are a trained qualified distributor. You having you have been going through a training process of how to approach people for buying the mutual funds. Okay, how to convince them that it is a good option to invest in, also for the short term, also for the long term. Yes, so you should be trained for that. And AMFI gives you a training. Okay, AMFI is governed by board of directors. It is governed by Board of directors elected from. Now who elects? Who appoints them? Elected means appointed by. Who appoints them? Elected from the mutual funds and is headed by a full-time chairman. Okay, AMFI is governed by the board of directors. और उनमें से एक होगा जो फुल टाइम चेयरमैन है. Okay. Next we have code of ethics. Now we studied this point, no, to set the ethical standards. So what are the codes of ethics? What are the ethical standards that a mutual fund company should follow? That an operator, that a distributor of mutual fund should follow. See, these are the points. Management of funds ought to be in the interest of unit holder. First of all, any type of fund which is managed by you should be in the interest of, should be in the benefit of. Here, interest word is not that income which you earn from the investments. No, here interest means benefit. Here the meaning of interest is benefit. So read it as a benefit. Management of the funds has to be that way, has to be in such a way that it should be in the benefit of the unit holders. Okay, you have to work for the unit holders. You have to work for the investors, not against the investors. Okay, it should be in the benefit of the investors. High standards of services are expected from the fund. That means if any type of fund that you have invested in should have a high standard of service, should should be performing well in the market. He is trying to say you that way. Okay. Adequate disclosures by the funds ought to be made to the unit holders and trustees. Suppose now you want to close the fund, you want to sell the fund. Okay, so it should be in the knowledge of the unit holder because it is money that belongs to the unit holder. Unit holder means investor, main जो आपको पैसे देता है, जो invest करता है mutual funds में. So it should be in the knowledge of unit holder and trustees. Funds are urged to adopt the use of professional selling practices. That means whenever you want to sell your mutual funds, there are few professional practices that you need to follow. That means there are few guidelines that you need to follow before selling it off. Okay, management of the funds collected has to be in accordance with stated investment objectives. Suppose you are a financial advisor and you are asking me to invest in mutual funds. And if I tell you that my objective is to save it for long period of time, but you are investing in for short period of time, that is not an ethical practice. So you should look after my means investors' objectives, not your own objectives, not as per your, but as per investment objectives of the investors. The fund should be invested particularly into such type of securities accordingly. Okay, funds should avoid conflicts of interest in dealing by directors, officers, and employees. See, everybody will deal, तो कोई तो conflicts होंगे ना. तो कोई एक पर्टिकुलर फंड मैनेजर होना चाहिए जो इसके साथ बिल्कुल प्रॉपर डीलिंग कर रहा है. मतलब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए कि इसका बेनिफिट हुआ, इसका बेनिफिट नहीं हुआ. डायरेक्टर्स के बेनिफिट में है लेकिन ऑफिसर्स और एम्प्लॉइज के बेनिफिट में नहीं है. इट शुड नॉट बी दैट वे. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मतलब फाइट नहीं होनी चाहिए बिटवीन द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ different parties which are involved in fund management. Fund have to refrain from unethical market practices. Refrain means we have to keep away from. We need to be away from unethical market practices. There are unethical market practices. There are people who will cheat. Okay, but the rule has been made by MFI that the ethical standards are being made and we have to follow. We have to adhere to all the ethical practices. Therefore, the last point it says is funds have to refrain from ethical market practices. I mean, we don't have to apply, we don't have to use, or we don't have to invest our funds in the area where unethical market practices are taking place. Okay. Next, did you understand this about AMFI? What is AMFI? It is a regulatory body of mutual funds in regulated, which looks after the regulation of mutual funds in India. It was launched on 22nd August 1995. It is a non-profit organization which looks after 244 asset management companies. And it is the tender of SEBI and Stock Exchange. Okay, so we have done objectives and roles performed by AMFI, and AMFI has some code of ethics, and that every mutual fund company has to follow all the code of ethics made by AMFI. Is it clear? I hope you can write a long answer for AMFI. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes?
ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to the next point. Loads. What are loads? Loads is a charge. A load is a charge is charged to investors when the investor buy or sells मतलब redeems the units. मतलब जब आप खरीदते हैं और जब आप बेचते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड की किसी भी यूनिट को, किसी भी शेयर्स को, किसी भी डिबेंचर को, किसी भी सिक्योरिटी को, किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर, जो आपका एक पर्टिकुलर शेयर होता है ना, वन शेयर इज नोन एज यूनिट। तो आप कोई भी, जब आप बाय और सेल करते हो ना, कोई भी इन्वेस्टर जब बाय और सेल करता है ना, तब आपको जो चार्ज भरना पड़ता है ना, एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज उसके ऊपर, बाइंग एंड सेलिंग चार्ज। देखो मैं प्राइस नहीं बोल रही हूँ, शेयर का प्राइस, मार्केट प्राइस, फेस वैल्यू, सेलिंग का प्राइस कितना है, मार्केट में कितना प्राइस चल रहा है, वो नहीं बोल रही हूँ। आप बाय करते हो तो भी आपको एक पर्टिकुलर रेट भरना पड़ता है, चार्ज भरना पड़ता है, समझो एक शेयर का 10 रुपए, समझा। और सेल करने के लिए भी वैसे ही आपको एक चार्ज भरना पड़ता है, उसे कहते हैं लोड। क्या कहते हैं? क्या कहते हैं? लोड। आया समझ में इसको क्या कहते हैं? यस, वेरी गुड, load, very good. It is primarily used to meet the expenses related to sales and distribution of units. मतलब ये लोड है ना, किस में काम आता है? जब आप ये लोड कलेक्ट करते हो तो ये किस में काम आता है? टू मीट द एक्सपेंसेस रिलेटेड टू सेल। जब आप आगे चल के सेल करोगे या डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करोगे, आप तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर हो ना, तो आप जब डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करोगे आगे यूनिट्स को, तब आपको ये लोड काम आता है। लोड में जो अमाउंट होता है तब काम आते हैं, जो आगे चल के जो खर्चे होते हैं ना, वो आप इसमें से लोड में से एडजस्ट करते हैं। लोड चार्ज ऑन सेल ऑफ यूनिट्स इज एंट्री लोड। जब हम लोग बेचते हैं ना, देखो मैं तो, देखो अब मैंने बेचे, आपको सेल ऑफ यूनिट्स किया, तो जब हम तब उस टाइम पे लोड भरते हैं ना, उसे कहते हैं एंट्री लोड। क्या कहते हैं? एंट्री लोड। इट इंक्रीजेस द प्राइस अबव द एनएवी फॉर न्यू इन्वेस्टर। अब जो खरीदने वाला है उसके लिए तो भाव बढ़ जाएगा ना, उसके लिए तो प्राइस बढ़ जाएगा, मतलब जितना एनएवी है ना उससे बढ़ता हुआ दिखेगा। क्यों? क्योंकि लोड चार्जेस भी एप्लीकेबल होंगे ना, इसलिए। ओके, लोड चार्ज ऑन रिडम्पशन इज एग्जिट लोड। अब आपने रिडम्पशन कर दिया, ठीक है, मतलब आपने गिव अप कर दिया, तो जब आप गिव अप करते हो तो उसे कहते हैं एग्जिट लोड। क्या कहते हैं? एग्जिट लोड, क्योंकि रिडम्पशन हो गया, ठीक है। परचेज के बाद रिडम्पशन होता है ना, तो आपने जब रिडम्पशन किया तो उसे क्या कहते हैं? एग्जिट लोड। और एग्जिट लोड के टाइम पे प्राइस रिड्यूस हो जाते हैं। क्या हो जाता है? रिड्यूस हो जाता है। अब देखो नेक्स्ट, हाँ लेस कर देगा वो, वेरी गुड, अमाउंट उतना लेस हो जाएगा ना रिडीम करते टाइम, क्योंकि वो एग्जिट लोड है, अब आप निकल रहे हैं, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट देखो, मैक्सिमम एंट्री लोड और एग्जिट लोड इज 7%। चाहे एंट्री लोड हो चाहे वो एग्जिट लोड हो, कितना होगा वो? मैक्सिमम 7%। किसके लिए? ओपन एंडेड फंड्स के लिए। और क्लोज एंडेड फंड्स के लिए कितना होता है? 5%। ये सब आपको पता होना चाहिए। देखो मैक्सिमम एंट्री एंड एग्जिट लोड ओपन एंडेड फंड्स के लिए कितना है? 7। और मैक्सिमम एंट्री एंड एग्जिट लोड फॉर क्लोज एंडेड फंड्स इज 5%। CDSC is an exit load that varies with holding period. और load is an amount which is recovered from the investors. Of course, ये आप अपनी जेब से थोड़ी भरेंगे, इसको आप अपनी जेब से कभी नहीं भरते हो। मतलब आप है ना फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर हो, you will not pay it from your own pocket. You have to recover from the investor. Okay, it is just like a brokerage charge that you're charging from the customer. अब आपको ये भी पता होना चाहिए कि नेट एसेट्स क्या होती है. नेट एसेट्स क्या होती है? म्यूचुअल फंड में जो नेट एसेट्स की बात हम करते हैं, नेट एसेट वैल्यू. सो वो नेट एसेट्स होती क्या है? अब वो कैसे निकाली जाती है नेट एसेट्स? ठीक है, तो नेट एसेट्स रिप्रेजेंट, ये आपको ना सेम 3 में हिमांशु सर ने करवाया है नेट एसेट, और इसके ऊपर सम्स भी होंगे आपको तब के टाइम पे. की है सम्स की है नेट एसेट्स वैल्यू पे. You must have done. Chalo. What are the net assets for mutual of the mutual funds? Net assets represents the market value of the assets which belongs to the investors on the given date. Suppose I have purchased mutual funds before 1 year, and right now if I want to check the value of the mutual funds which are there in my hand after 1 year, I will have to check the market value of that particular asset, of that particular unit, of that particular share or debenture or any other unit that I'm holding in my hand. I will have to check the market value. And how we need to calculate the net assets? See the formula. Market value of the investment. First, you have to take up the market value that is going on currently in the market. Okay, the value that is going on in the market. Okay, plus the current assets and other assets. आपके हाथ में कौन सी और कौन सी एसेट्स हैं उन्हें ऐड कर देंगे, प्लस और कौन सी इनकम्स आने वाली हैं. अक्रूड इनकम्स मींस आने वाली हैं. इनकम येट टू बी रिसीव्ड इज नोन एज अक्रूड इनकम. Okay, that you have to add because it is to be received in a few days or maybe few months or maybe in few weeks. So that is why you are going to add it. Yet to be received. Yes, very good. So it is yet to be received. Therefore, add. Because you're going to receive anyways, no? Maybe after a few weeks, a few days, a few months. Okay. Less current liabilities and other liabilities. If there are liabilities, you will deduct it. And if there are accrued expenses that you need to pay in the future, outstanding expenses, that is known as accrued expenses, that you need to pay in the future to somebody else. That means you have to pay. Pay means the cash will go out and therefore you have to deduct. So after adding and deducting all these points from the market value of the investments, you will get an answer which is known as net assets value, which is market value of the assets on that particular given date. जिस भी डेट पे आप कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं ना, उस दिन की बात कर रहे हैं. NAV, how frequently you calculate this? How frequently? All the mutual funds have to disclose their NAVs daily. Have you seen daily? Have you seen this? Daily they have to report. They have to disclose the NAV of mutual funds. Every day they have to disclose by posting it on AMFI website by 8 p.m. It's not 8 a.m. That's an opening time. It's 8 p.m. Okay. So 8 p.m. तक जो closing time होता है ना, इसे कहते हैं closing NAV. Closing NAV is closing value of the mutual funds, net value of the mutual funds. Okay. It has to be posted on AMFI website. ठीक है. Open-ended funds तो every day, of course, they have to be disclosed every day. Closed-ended funds can compute NAV every week. See, closed-ended funds के लिए ना एक option दिया गया है week का. Why? Because there is a time limit, no? Now, suppose you have purchased investments. Now there is a time that is decided for the maturity, that is decided for redemption. So you can take 1 week also to change the value of or to disclose the value of closed-ended funds. Okay, open-ended are dealt every day or every minute you can purchase and sell the open-ended funds, no? Therefore, every day they disclose the closing rate of NAV. Okay, but disclosures have to be made every day. See, closed-ended can compute their NAV every week, but disclosure will be done every day. Okay, that means once a week they will calculated, but they have to disclose on the end of every day. Shivani, you're misunderstanding. See, open-ended funds will have to compute and disclose every day. That means they will compute every day and they will show every day. Closed-ended funds, they will compute it once a week. They will calculate it once a week, but they have to disclose it every day. That same rate, that same amount, value has to be disclosed every week. Sorry, every day. Disclosure every day. Computation once a week. Okay. For closed-ended, for open-ended, computation and disclosure every day. Yes. Okay. So closed-ended schemes not mandatorily listed on stock exchanges. जो closed-ended funds हैं, which are not mandatorily listed on stock exchange, can publish. उनको option है. Can publish NAV according to the periodicity of 1 month or 3 months as permitted by SEBI. वो लोग अपने NAV को पब्लिश कर सकते हैं जो लिस्टेड नहीं है, और जो क्लोज्ड एंडेड स्कीम्स है, मैं उनकी बात करूँ, जो क्लोज्ड एंडेड स्कीम्स है विच आर नॉट लिस्टेड ऑन द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. लिस्टेड हो तो आपको एवरी डे डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ेगा, पब्लिश करना पड़ेगा. बट इफ यू आर नॉट लिस्टेड ऑन द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, you can publish it between 1 and 3 months as permitted by the SEBI. Okay, you can take a gap of 1 month or 2 months or maybe 3 months. But वो SEBI से permission लेना पड़ता है. Closed ended है ना वैसे भी. Okay. So can anybody solve this and give me the proper answer, right one? See what is the question. Unit capital of mutual fund scheme is 20 million. Unit capital, huh? Rupees 20 million. This is the price of the unit capital of mutual fund. The market value of the investment is rupees 55 million. The number of unit is 1 million. So NAV is? Yes, it's very simple. Market value of investment is 55. Total 55. But I want it for 1 unit. No. I want for 1 unit. So the number of units are 1 million. The number of units are 1 million. No, dear. Unmute and answer me. Come on. Units are 1 million. And yes. So total investment is 55 million. Net value assets is market value is 55 million. So what should be the answer? Yes, tell me.
55.
Yes. So 55 million divided by 1 million.
Yes.
See, the total market value is 55. Divided by how many units you have? 1 million. So 55 million rupees divided by 1 million units. His answer
So
is rupees 55 per
rupees.
each. Yes, each.
Yes.
Unit means each. 1 is for 55. Very good. You are answering, so it motivates me, makes me understand that you are understanding. It makes me confident that you are understanding. So please, you guys need to answer me. Okay?
Yes,
चलो, ये
ma'am.
सबको समझा? Okay. Now the next.
Yes.
Look at the next one. See, answer is already available to you. See, an open-ended fund was purchased when its NAV was rupees 22. There was an open-ended fund which I purchased when NAV was rupees 22. 1 year later, after 1 year, NAV was 24. What is the annualized percentage of NAV? Very simple. Opening rate. Okay. Closing rate. Closing is after 1 year, 24. Minus opening rate. Divided by opening rate into 100. See, it is closing minus opening upon opening into 100. The answer is annual. Annualized means per year, 1 year, annual. Annualized percentage NAV change is. He is asking you the change. How much change in the form of percentage? Can you calculate? He's asking you that. You need
For
to
a change in a year.
yeah, for a change in a year, because from 22 to 24, how much change you have seen
Yes.
in your mutual fund in the form of percentage. So whenever there is a percentage format, you need to multiply it with 100. So how we need to
Yes, ma'am.
yes, how we need to find a change? Closing minus opening upon opening. This is the formula, basic formula that you have always been learning since your school timings. I hope you understand the formula. Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. So 9.09 percentage, the change is there between 22 to 24, between 22 and 24. Okay. So I hope you understood with net annual, net assets value. Now the next part we have, the last part, what are the initial issue expenses? This is the last part of the chapter. Now, do you know when you invest in the mutual funds? So right in the beginning, initial means beginning, while launching the fund, there are few expenses that are to be incurred, that are compulsorily there that you need to incur. So what are those expenses? What are the initial issue expenses when you want to issue? When we are talking about an issue word, when we look at this word, it means it is talking about in regards to the fund manager, the company. That means they will have to bear the expenses when they launch the mutual funds, when they issue the mutual funds. Issue means public cannot issue. No, the company will issue mutual fund. Public will buy. The investors will buy. Okay. So what are the initial expenses that company has to go through, that company has to incur before or at the launch of the fund? So let's see. Expenses that are incurred in the launch of the fund are called as follows. Are called as initial issue expenses, which are as follows. That means जो starting में incur हो, launch करने के time पे fund को launch करने के time पे जो expenses होते हैं ना, उसी कहते हैं initial issue expenses. और वो कौन से होते हैं? As follows. See, look at this. The cost of registration and fund formation. See, you need to form the fund, no? For forming a fund, you need to incur expenses. Paper documents are there, registration, you have to go under SEBI registration, right? You have to go under AMFI registration. Okay, you have to seek the permission, paper document, the expenses related to paper documents, etc., which are to be submitted to AMFI. Okay, only then you will be getting the permission to deal with fund formation, right? Legal and advisory expenses. Legal and advisory expenses means, what type of fund you should create, which type of fund you should create, how, what objectives it will fulfill when public or investors will come and invest in your fund. What type of objective should be fulfilled? That legal and advisory expenses are to be paid to the experts who guide you about the fund and its nature and its characteristics. Okay. Cost of launching the scheme, because you want to launch the scheme, no? So you will have to pay for it. You will have to see who will be doing advertisements and promotional activities. A person will be appointed to promote your product, promote your mutual fund schemes. So for them, for that you need to pay to them, no? Some kind of salary or perquisites you need to pay to them, because somebody is doing advertisement for your products, for your schemes, to launch it better way, to launch it on a large scale. Okay. Distribution cost. Now from one place to another place, okay, we need to advertise it, we need to distribute the schemes, we need to inform public about our schemes, investors about our schemes. Okay, so distribution cost is also there. Commission to selling agents. Now, the persons who are appointed to sell the mutual funds, okay, like financial advisors, they will sell the mutual funds to public. So they will be paid commissions. So these are the few expenses, initial issue expenses that a company has to incur. SEBI imposes a ceiling of 6% of these expenses. That means ceiling means limit. Ceiling, you have a ceiling in your houses, no? तो उस सीलिंग का मतलब क्या होता है? इस सीलिंग के ऊपर कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो ना, आप कुछ भी बना नहीं सकते हो, ये सीलिंग है, इसके ऊपर, इस लिमिट के ऊपर आपका घर नहीं बना सकते। समझ आ रहा है आपको? तो सीलिंग का मतलब क्या होता है? मतलब लिमिट होता है। तो सेबी क्या करता है? 6% का लिमिट दिया हुआ है ये एक्सपेंसेस के ऊपर, मैक्सिमम लिमिट इतना ही खर्चा करने का आपको, हाँ मैक्सिमम लिमिट, ठीक है? 6% शुड बी द मैक्सिमम लिमिट फॉर दीज एक्सपेंसेस। इससे ज्यादा खर्चा नहीं करना है कंपनी को, 6% से ज्यादा। ओके, सो while instruments like shares give high returns at cost of high risk, instruments like NSE and time deposits give lower returns at higher safety. Mutual funds aim to strike a balance between risk and return and give you best of both of them. आया समझ में? क्या लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे? अगर हम शेयर्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे तो उसमें रिस्क ज्यादा होता है, तो रिटर्न्स भी ज्यादा होते हैं, ठीक है? रिस्क मतलब ज्यादा लेना पड़ता है अगर रिस्क रिटर्न ज्यादा चाहिए। अगर मैं एनएससी, नेशनल सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट, गवर्नमेंट के सर्टिफिकेट्स होते हैं, या बैंक डिपॉजिट ले लूं गवर्नमेंट बैंक की, तो उसमें सेफ्टी ज्यादा होती है, रिस्क कम होती है, रिस्क कम होता है ना, तो रिटर्न्स भी कम होते हैं। तो म्यूचुअल फंड है ना, मतलब मैं किस में इन्वेस्टमेंट करूं? शेयर्स में करूं तो रिस्क ज्यादा है, और अगर एनएससी में करूं तो रिस्क कम है, तो रिटर्न्स भी कम है। तो मैं किस में इन्वेस्ट करूं? म्यूचुअल फंड एम टू स्ट्राइक अ बैलेंस बिटवीन रिस्क एंड रिटर्न। ये जो आपका बैलेंस है ना, ये जो इम्बैलेंस बना हुआ है, इसके बीच में इसको बैलेंस ठीक करता है। इसको रिस्क ज्यादा तो रिटर्न भी ज्यादा, रिस्क कम तो रिटर्न भी कम, इसको ठीक करने के लिए, मतलब आप रिस्क भी उतना ही लो जितना एपिटाइट है, और अच्छी खासी रिटर्न्स अर्न करके निकलोगे। दिस इज व्हाट म्यूचुअल फंड एम टू ब्रिंग अप, द बैलेंस बिटवीन रिस्क एंड रिटर्न्स, एंड गिव द बेस्ट टू बोथ ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स, चाहे वो रिस्क एवर्स इन्वेस्टर्स हो, चाहे वो रिस्क